Hello, welcome to this Monday's Lunchtime Live. Sorry for the little delay in me appearing there. For some reason, Facebook took me live a little bit early. So, how are we all doing on this Monday, the second Monday in January? I think, who knows? I lose track of these things so quickly. So today, lots going on in the shop this week, including the fact that it is absolutely freezing. So I'm wearing my birds of a feather. Kits available. Hi Lisa, how are you doing? So today, lots of things. I'm going to talk to you about loads and loads of new stuff. The first thing I want to do though is quickly talk about global shipping, so international shipping. Turn back on the site now, because we're just waiting for the postage system to settle down a little bit, and to get used to doing some of the customs forms. The thing about it is now for European Union customers, and this is why it was turned off, is that in the past we've been shipping internationally and a lot of countries pay customs or duties, and sometimes it's unevenly applied, so you don't really know if it's going to happen or not. So for example, I could send a parcel to the US one week and no charges, another week charges, and it's going to be a little bit like that with Europe as well, we feel, at the moment. That's what I'm seeing kind of on some of the forums I belong to. So it's just something to be aware of, that if you order from us at the moment, you might or might not have customs and duties applied. There is a big VAT change, so that's the value added tax, coming in June of this year. We're getting the site ready to do that. I'm consulting an accountant for that, because it's of the boring things. But again, I want to make sure that people aren't paying VAT they shouldn't be paying, but people are also expecting to pay VAT. If it comes up, it's a really mucky, unfun area, but we're definitely looking after it. Hello, Louisa. Hi, Karen. So yes, that is just kind of a bit of housekeeping. Back shipping internationally now. Yay! And anyone who's emailed about orders and ordering internationally, I'll be getting back to you this afternoon. Just turning it on and making sure the terms and conditions, which I hate, were up to date. I don't want anyone being surprised by charges, and they really do look just unpredictable at the moment. And as soon as I have more predictable detail, though, I will share it. So back to much happier things. So the most exciting thing, I think, is that tomorrow week the Getting It Done podcast launches, although it is actually live at the moment. So you can find it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Well, maybe not Spotify yet. It's really funny because you have to go for separate permission to Apple to put your podcast live on their platform. They're very protective of it. So I thought I needed a whole week. So I went last Monday expecting to have it maybe for this Monday to be live next week. I think I got it in 24 hours. I think they see knitting as not that much, not that risky a subject. So you can actually find it now in Apple Podcasts, and hopefully wherever you get your podcasts. I'll have all that detail though when I'm sharing next week when we launch on Tuesday. So very excited about that. I'll tell you a little bit more about it as well, and what's coming up in the episodes when I go live next week for another Lunchtime Live. So that's probably the big news. The next news, which is very exciting, is finally these wee little devils from CoCo Knits have finally arrived. They went on an around the world trip. Our supplier for these is Octagon Distribution, and they are based in Bath. They're Carmen from A Yarn Story. It's one of her businesses. So she imports these from the United States, which is where the CoCo Knits come from. And honestly, something people didn't realize is that when you have them shipped from, I think, California, they were expecting them to arrive into the UK, which you would expect, but they actually go through Rotterdam. So obviously when COVID border issues happened over Christmas, these little wee devils were stuck. They had a little holiday in the Netherlands, which I suppose we could all really do with a little holiday in the Netherlands. So they have finally come, along with a full update of other stock. So as I look over at the stock that you can't see, they are these. Look at the cuteness of these. Dun dun dun. Little tiny measuring tape. Totally plastic free as well. They are... That's not a great advert for it, is it? Oh, it's back in. They are a little bit stiff, I think. Wow, that really is a bad advert. That has not happened before. Oh, there we go. They do work. They're apparently a bit stiff though. I have it. Oh. Okay, it's working now. That's not great. Well, I don't know. I will give them a little bit more of a test. They're on the site at the moment, and if you buy one, I'd love to know what you feel. Let me try a few more of them. Spring is working fine now. Okay. I think I'm going to keep this one. I'll try a few more of them. So anyway, these super cute things have arrived. Maybe super cute Not quite as functional as I would like. Anyway, they are not plastic. The details of them are on the site. They are some form of fermented starch or some kind. So they're non-plastic, and the reason they don't have a stopper in them, which might be why they have a little. Oh yeah, that's better. Anyway, the reason they don't have a little stopping unit in them is to stop them being fully plastic. You can see all the details on the site. They are available in yellow. They're also available in blue and pink, which is super cute. Product fail live online. It's a big moment, lads. Hey, I will test the life out of that though. I think the yellow one will have to become the shop one, although I kind of want a blue one. Super cute. Sea glass, technically. So they have arrived and obviously need a small bit more testing. I'd like your opinion on that, actually. If you see this and think, ooh, that's a bit risky. Here we go. We'll pop him in there. He's beautiful, but possibly not quite as functional. Definitely male then. Joking. That's dreadful. Right. So they have arrived and they are super cute and useful in their own special way when you give them a little bit of a use. I'll use mine for a week and I'll let you know next week how it's gone. So another very exciting thing that definitely works. Awesome calendar that I've done with my girlies. So Lisa from For the Love of Yarn and Abby from Orchidean Yarns, our Badass Friday. So we did a little teeny calendar together, and it's just really functional in that it'll stand up on your desk and you can see it. And if you're in an office, you can have one side for your co-worker, one side for you, and one side as a reminder for when you need to buy yarn. So yes, very cute, very awesome. So yes, they are now free with every order. So if you are ordering while stocks last, I have a pile of them. They're going down slowly though, because they've got into all orders that were received from, I think, Sunday. So you will get one. So people have ordered since Sunday will have them because they arrived to me. And apologies if your orders went out on Saturday morning. They were gone before they came to me. But I think after that, everyone should have one. So they come flat and then you just pop them up and make a little trapezoid out of them. So yes, they're really cute and they're coming with every order. Now, next up, other new things, very exciting. You'll have seen me last week knitting into the woods. Yep. I now have printed copies of 10 of Brona's most awesome patterns. So Brona Miss Kelly, some of you will know Brona from the Knitter. So I have 10 of her printed patterns now. They are absolutely gorgeous. And in each of the listings, I've listed a suitable yarn that I stock for those as well. They and all the details of the yardage and the needles that you need as well are detailed in those. They're really nice. I'll share my Into the Woods a little bit more next week. It's upstairs because I have to get set up for lace knitting because I use a metal board and I prop it up on a. I'll show you next week what I use for lace because I'm not the most dedicated lace knitter, but I'm really enjoying making this. So yeah, that's gorgeous. And then for this one, it's a 4-ply. So it's actually a really good one. Actually, is Bench in the Clearing, which is the friend of Into the Woods, which I think is really cute. Brona names for patterns, such lovely things. They're kind of twins. But the if you're fancy starting, Bench in the Clearing is the 4-ply one. So it's a great one to start with and then move on to a more lacy version. So it's kind of, you can kind of step up with lace. It's how I learned how to lace knit. Kind of start simple and then move on from there. So those are those, all very new. So if you go to website, patterns by designer, Brona. So all of our patterns are listed in there. There's socks and shawls and hats and mittens. Actually, the hats and mittens aren't up yet, but there will be hats and mittens shortly. But there's loads and loads of beautiful shawls, and Brona is a most amazing shawl designer. So that is the next thing that's on. Next up, sock challenge continues in the Facebook group. Loads of people have been asking me, when will this be back in stock? I'm hoping to have it today, Monday the 11th of January. By end of day, they're currently telling me on the tracking site. Of course, that can sometimes mean tomorrow. It has been dispatched for delivery, but not out for delivery. But, it's only noon on Monday and it says end of day. So hopefully I will have a copy. If you want to reserve one, email me, michelle@theloveliest.co.uk. I have a few reserved already because the challenge is going on in the Facebook group. If you're not a member, do join. You'll find it in the Facebook page under groups, The Loveliest Yarn Company or TLYC Knit and Natter. And we're all knitting the socks for that. So that's very exciting. Although I have to admit, I'm slowly knitting my pair because I don't want to finish them because I want to start another pair. So I started a different pair instead of starting February's pair. So yes, back in to hopefully tonight, maybe tomorrow. Do look out on the site. I'll have them up when they're arrived. Oh, a little thing about that actually, just from an interesting perspective. Oh, people talk about the changes of Brexit. Can't talk about the wrongs and rights of it. But people are saying there's no impact. It cost me €50 more for the shipping for these than it would have normally. So it tripled the price of the shipping because it's now outside the EU from Finland, and it has increased the price of a lot of inward shipping. I'm not passing that on though. There's just hopefully it will settle, and the team at Liner were saying that they're hoping it'll settle when kind of the COVID issue stops being a problem as well. So yeah, that's just an FYI. Like it is there is an impact. My poor babies are costing me more to come, but I was like, it's no way I'm not getting them. At least they're coming, which is the best thing I can say, which is the main thing. So the next thing then, retail shows. I just wanted to talk a little teeny bit about this. So I would say that it'll be a little while before we're back with shows because people are asking me, are you scheduled for shows? And what I've been doing is a lot of them rolled over from last year. So for example, Wonderwall Wales, and I think I paid or was scheduled to go to a lot of shows last year. What I'm doing is assessing it on a show by show basis. And right now I would say that Wales, I don't know, because obviously the legal restrictions in England. I want to say England because I'm not. It varies obviously by country. Within the UK at the moment, they're talking about the end of March as the legal end of those current restrictions. But you know what? We just don't know. And I would personally prefer if the vaccine was in a lot more people, because of our demographic. Knitters are not the youngest members of society. And obviously I would prefer if everybody was vaccinated, in large numbers. Everybody kind of, I hope they would be through the over 50s and the vulnerable by the time we're starting to do shows again. But people have asked, and my view is we will go as soon as it's safe to do so, but only when it is safe. Very funny. I was having a conversation with Simon recently though. My mind just, whatever he said, my mind drifted off, and in my head I was dressing the stand at the Ali Pali. I don't know why. Those moments where you think, oh yeah, and if I was doing it this year I'd do it a little bit differently. And then I was like, don't think that far ahead. So yes, shows, we will be back as soon as we can. So people have been asking about that. The next thing, I like, obviously the Loveliest Yarn Company, Knit School and Bounty Yarns are my entire life, so I spend a lot of time thinking about kind of ways to make it better, I hope, and more convenient. So something I have been trying to do is with shipping. So our shipping is £4 up to £50, then free on orders up to a kilo, and then it's free but it goes first class, and then over a kilo it's second class signed, mostly because they're pretty much the same. They're neck and neck, in terms of delivery speed, but also just from a cost perspective. But they're free to you, obviously, over £50. But my site, the platform I run it on, does not allow me to do flat rate shipping on small items, which then become part of the £4 that you would pay up to 50. So it's really aggravating. Where I'm like, so I want all my patterns to ship for like £1 or £1.50, depending on the size, and then I want them to, but I want that. So that's if you order them on their own, or if you kind of order a bundle of them. So I could send them out for £1 or £2.50, but it doesn't let me, so it'll automatically put that onto your order if you only order those, which is great, good, because you could have one thing, but it doesn't. So then you buy a few more bits, and then it'll charge you £4, and it'll charge you £1.50, so it's £5.50, and I'm like, I don't want that. So I've raised a question with the company to say, can I have this? Like, can other people have this too? Because I cannot be the only small business who wants this. I really wanted to do away with the £1.50 if you're already paying £4, because then everything gets merged in together. It does, however, go away if you're paying over £50, so like all the postage charges are removed. So you can kind of see the logic that it should remove the rates as you go, but it doesn't. But everything becomes free over 50. These are what I spend my time doing. So what I'm going to do is on Fridays, every now and again, in the Facebook group only though, because otherwise it would just get out of control. I'd be trying to remember it on Facebook and Facebook Live and Instagram and Reels and Pinterest. So I'm going to be doing it in the Facebook group is every week I'm going to do a Flat Rate Friday. And I'll update a few products, so that if people just want to buy like a book and you only want to pay £2 shipping for it, it'll be flat rate on that Friday and you can order just the book. We'll do a few books and a few individual patterns and things like that, or groups of patterns, and I can then refund postage if people want as well. It's kind of controlled in the Facebook group because it's we're nearly at 900 people, but it's still easy enough to manage. That it's not a huge number. It is a huge number. If 900 people ordered from me and I was refunding £900 worth of shipping, that would be quite good. Actually, I'd be more than happy to refund all that shipping. But the message is kind of controlled, because I need to kind of keep a rein on things. So yes, we'll be doing Flat Rate Fridays from this Friday. The first book that we're going to be doing Flat Rate Friday for is the shawl cookbook, which has 7 crochet shawl. But I thought we'd treat my crochet book. It'll have it's got 7 shawls in it, each for individual skeins of yarn. And if you order it by itself, it will appear to you for £2. Of course, if you then order something else with it, I'll refund the flat rate, so you may bear it. And if you buy over £50 worth of things, it will be free. Again, you can see why I want to do it in the Facebook group, where it's really easy to explain kind of to a smaller circle of people. So yeah, Flat Rate Friday is coming on Friday. Actually, I've told everybody now. Oh well. But you won't know what time it's. Do join the Facebook group, because then if I decide between now and Friday, and it's very possible that I want to add a few more bits and pieces to that, we'll have that Flat Rate Fridays. Yay. So pop that in there. Stay. Right. So yes. So that's Flat Rate Friday. You can kind of tell. I love it. I'm really very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to do something that I really love to do. So I like to think of little things that kind of hopefully make it easier. And it'll be the same with patterns and things. I'm working my way up. For my own patterns though, they are all the printed patterns I do for the Loveliest Yarn Company are free postage, so they will ship out in the UK. Same with Flat Rate Friday, it will be in the UK as well, because I can't turn one off. I thought, it's a funny thing. It'll be UK flat rates. Although I could probably work something out for the US as well, and the rest of the world. The US is at the front of my mind at the moment, because I've just turned that back on because I had a few people asking me about it. Right. Yes. So apart from thinking up magical things, Flat Rate Friday, for that alliteration, I thought I've been doing a bit of knitting. I am nearly finished. I have a finished item actually. So these are socks I was working on before Christmas. I didn't show them last week because they were lurking around in my socks. So this is actually a test colorway, for just a test colorway on a test base, and I'm going to give these were I give them to my dad, or I give them to Simon. I'm going to give them to Simon actually, because shipping things to Ireland at the moment, I'm not entirely sure if they'll have to pay customs on handmade socks. I mean, they might. So yes, that is socks. Really pleased with that. That base is really beautiful, so I'm really excited to be dyeing that for Banshee Yarn shortly. They're my Simply the Simplest sock pattern. I'm just such a lazy knitter. The next thing is my Bembe socks, and I'm slowly doing these. I could have done the toe last night, but I was like, no, just savor them. So this is, I think I showed you these last week. Finished Bembe sock. Almost finished Bembe sock. Oh, a little thing actually, which might be useful to you. The way I track my toe rows is I use stitch markers. So a bit of stitch marker in here when I finish it. So just after the first row after I've done my shaping, and before the first row shaping of the toe, and then I can count the rows I want to make sure that my second sock's the same size. So I find that really useful. Of course, it does help if you have thousands of these, because everybody, actually, to be fair, the CoCo Knits are great for that, because you can use, I don't know, they just are. And I have loads of them at the moment. Those are just some, I don't know where I picked up those ones. I have a house full of them. So yes, that is my Bembe sock. I've been doing a little bit of sock knitting, and this is my gorgeous birthday yarn from Lisa from For the Love of Yarn. It's a happy birthday. I'm really excited. It's really lovely. It's sparkly. Again, it's Simply the Simplest sock, because I'm lazy. And I think with a variegated yarn, sometimes the details get lost. Not always. It's very pattern sock kind of specific. So those are really, really lovely. I'm really excited about those. So I love that colorway from Lisa. It's green as well, so it's my favorite. So I cast those on the other night, and I like to have many socks on the go. Then my biggest knitting success of the week, I think, was getting onto Sleeve Island last night. Hopped onto Sleeve Island for my flags. I'm very gentle now because I'm on a short circular for my sleeve. I always use a short circular, so I'm using a sock wonder. So I use sock wonders for my sleeves, because why wouldn't you? I know, Lisa. I love it. It's so nice. Thank you so very much. And this is the sock winder in a sleeve. I always use sock winder. And I'm flying along. I'm good. I'm at the shaping now. So this is for Simon, so I'm really excited. It's in the cashmere sock 4-ply, which I don't have in that colour, and I don't actually have any in stock at the moment because I kind of raided it to make the sweater. So yeah, that's where everything is. I think at the moment, let me my little list. Yeah, so that's it. Podcast launching. Flat Rate Fridays. If you want to join us, you can join the Facebook group, TLYC Knit and Natter. Calendars with every order. And these errant wee devils. Oh, it's the yellow one again. Let me open it again. Let me see if we've any better luck with the blue one. I should have practiced this. Oh yeah, that's better. Oh, that's better. It might be the yellow one. Or they might just loosen up after a little while. Although I feel a bit of resistance, right? We now have the shop one. Yeah, so yeah, the shop one is now a yellow one that has got a little bit of stiffness in it. I will keep this one for the shop. It's a hardship, but someone has to do it. That'll be my demo version. The other one is obviously the others work fine. I'll be checking them all before they go out, though. Do not worry. Now that I've made that discovery, I will make sure that they're all good before they go into parcels. I know, Rachel, aren't they super cute? And I have a funny feeling I must buy something I don't have, actually. And that's a reminder, I'm going straight to the post office this evening to buy one. Let me write down on my little list. I need a large letter guide. You'd think after almost 5 years I would have a large letter guide, but I never anticipated how many small things I would be sending, and a lot more recently. And some of the CoCo Knits new stuff is on the verge, and I think I can get it in as a large letter, and then I'll refund you postage, obviously. We'll be able to do them for Flat Rate Friday too, so that's very exciting. Now, my dears, I'm going to go because very funny. So something people might not know about Simon, and why would you know? He likes to have his lunch at noon when he's working in the office, but of course I scheduled all of these for noon at lunchtime, so I'm sure he's around upstairs with a hangry face on him. Although to be fair, he has moved it a little bit to 12:30, but when I told him last week, I was like, yeah, live at noon. He's like, noon? Is that lunchtime? And I'm like, oh, it is. I don't like to scold him either, because obviously the house is multifunctional, so it's the shop and the house and the house. But like, I don't want him to have to get the brass band in that he likes to get in when he's eating, obviously make enough noise to wake the dead. So yeah, I'm gonna go before he comes down and he needs feeding. Honestly, you could probably see him like as if I have to throw food into him inside in a cage, but it's not quite as bad as that, but he definitely needs regular feeding. Right, my dears. Oh, and yes, Birds of a Feather kits in the shop at the moment. Wrong hand. Oh, actually, Fair Isle Weekend. I have 2 copies left. I will be getting more. I think it's going to be Book of the Month in March. Not sure yet, though. But I have 2 copies left of that before I get more. I know, Lisa, he's so funny. He has to be fed. You know, the way people really, like, and it's strange because most of the people I know who suffer from a sort of hanger, so hungry anger, are like people who I think they might be people who are a little bit more greyhoundy in their build, in that I think they burn through what storage they have and then they're just cross, whereas I could go all day. I'm like, what do we say, a seal? I'm like a seal or a camel. I'm good. I'm well sustained. Right, my dears, I really am going now. I'm so Irish. I can't leave a conversation. So have an awesome week, and I will see you back on Monday, and do join us in the Facebook group for the challenge, etc., etc., etc. Take care, lovelies. See you soon.